Both. Sorry, my voice is a bit cracked, small cold. So good morning, Honorable Minister, and good morning, our distinguished guests, captains of industry, policymakers, development partners, the members of the press, our young entrepreneurs, and my chair. People call him Chairman Council of Elders. I call him my chairman for life. He was my chairman at Standard Trust Bank. Our journey it's a long journey. He was my chairman at Standard Trust Bank, chairman at United Bank of Africa. So we've been together for a long time. That's why I say he's life chairman. And one of those who taught me how to even conduct board and comport myself at board meetings. Telling me where to sit at board meeting, that you sit on this side, the secretary sits on this side, and mentored me to this day. So Chief Alababa, good to see you here, sir. Let me begin by commending the Abuja Investment Company Limited and its visionary group managing director and CEO, Ambassador Dr. Maureen Tamuno, my own sister, for this timely and strategic summit, bringing the public and private sectors together in one room is very important, and that is how real sustainable change begins. I also congratulate my brother, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, for the remarkable transformation we continue to witness here in our Federal Capital Territory. Abuja is a window to our nation, Nigeria. So I salute his unceasing efforts to ensure that our federal capital demonstrates our true excellence. It is both an honor and a responsibility to address everyone here today on a subject that stands at the very heart of our continent's future, the role of private sector leadership in Africa's economic transformation. For context, Africa today is at a pivotal moment in its economic journey. We are clearly the world's youngest continent. We are endowed with vast natural resources. We have a growing consumer market and a very, very dynamic entrepreneurial spirit. Yet, we also face persistent challenges, such as youth unemployment, infrastructure deficit, which is why it's good to see the progress that's going on here, limited access to finance, climate devastation, and the lingering effects of global economic volatility, which we bear a lot of in this part of the world. But amid these challenges lies an extraordinary opportunity to build a new African economy driven by innovation, enterprise, and private sector leadership. No nation, not one, has ever achieved sustained prosperity without a vibrant and viral private sector. All across Africa, the private sector is trying. Private sector in Africa today contributes over 70% of our continent GDP. and over 80% of our total employment. But this is not just about numbers. It's about influence and initiative. The private sector drives productivity, connects markets, mobilizes investment, and builds resilience. From fintech startups in Lagos to renewable energy firms in Nairobi, from agribusinesses and entrepreneurs in Kigali to manufacturing innovators in Johannesburg. The private sector is indeed reimagining what is possible on our continent. Distinguished audience, I speak from experience. At Heirs Group, which we founded 15 years ago, this belief drives everything that we do. This is what I call Afro-capitalism, the philosophy that the private sector has a role to play and must lead our continent's economic transformation by investing long-term in critical sectors that help to unlock and catalyze prosperity and opportunities for all. True leadership is not just about generating profits. True leadership is also about generating progress. Africa's private sector must lead with a sense of purpose. By investing in skills development to empower Africa's youth, championing sustainability and green growth as we industrialize, building inclusive value chains that bring small enterprises and rural communities into the growth story, and driving digital transformation to unlock productivity and competitiveness. This is what it means to lead at the forefront of transformation, not just to participate in growth, but to shape it. Doing well and doing good are not mutually exclusive. On the contrary, they are the twin foundations of Africa's transformation in the 21st century. What we do at the O Elumelu Foundation is driven by this consciousness, by this awareness that, first, no one but us will develop our continent, and two, that it's not just about making profit, that we can indeed make profit and do good simultaneously, and no one waiting for the other. This year, Heirs Holdings, our investment platform, celebrates 15 years of defining Afro-capitalism, 15 years of investment that create value, 15 years of investment that empower communities, and 15 years of existence that transforms lives. When the O Elumelu Foundation decides to support young African entrepreneurs, it is because we know that we can't talk about prosperity for one when the many are living in abject poverty. And that we cannot say that we're posting billions of dollars in profit when all around us there's poverty. Our investments, beyond talking of Africa, we invest in Abuja, and we have a connection with the Federal Capital Territory. One is our federal capital, but more importantly, it presents a hospitable and very good investment destination for our group. Our investments in Abuja demonstrate our vision executed, vision of transforming lives and improving communities. Our track record in Abuja is a living testament to our philosophy delivered. Through Transcorp Group, we transformed the Transcorp Hilton Abuja from an aging landmark that did not do justice to our nation into a contemporary world-class hospitality icon, a venue that hosts the world. Today, the Transcorp Hilton stands tall as one of Africa's leading hotels, a symbol of excellence right here in Abuja, a beacon of our potential, where Nigeria greets the world and delivers African excellence. We did not stop there. This year, we launched the Transcorp Event Center, a 5,000 capacity ultra-modern space, cementing Abuja as a business and tourism hub, not just for Nigeria, but for Africa. Our investment in the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, is another example of private sector transformation in action. We know that electricity powers productivity, and we know that electricity powers homes, hospitals, schools, and businesses all depend on it. We have made progress, but challenges remain, including at times unpaid obligations on power generated and sold to government. But we're not deterred or limited by it. We believe in the long run to be sorted out. And this is why this kind of forum that brings policymakers, private sector development partners in one room to discuss investment and opportunities and to talk about how to transform Africa and starting from Nigeria is usually very, very exciting to us. Because when investors succeed, the nation and the continent succeeds. Across our group, we directly and indirectly employ over 7,000 Nigerians here in Abuja, Federal Capital Territory alone. Our young ones need jobs. It's a betrayal of a generation for people to leave school and not find jobs. So to us, one of the indices or one of the criteria for success as a business is when we are also able to create employment for people. Through the O Elumelu Foundation, we have empowered over 24,000 young Africans, including 641 beneficiaries, young men and women in Abuja, in the Federal Capital Territory. Each of them receiving a non-refundable seed capital of $5,000 each, plus training and mentorship. This to us is another index of success. So success to us is not just about profitability. It's about how we help to catalyze prosperity and social wealth for all. For transformation to be sustainable, the private sector cannot act alone. We must build a new social contract between government, businesses, and citizens, anchored in trust, transparency, and shared vision. Government must create the enabling environment, sound macroeconomic policies, reliable infrastructure, and predictable regulations. In return, the private sector must uphold ethical standards, invest locally, and deliver tangible social impact. Public-private partnerships are the bridges that can turn ambition into achievement, whether in digital connectivity, agriculture, transport infrastructure, or power generation. So for the private sector to deliver, government must support, sustain, and partner with them. And that is why I like this kind of initiative. You know, the Abuja Investment Company is a subsidiary part of government, but they're leading in this form and creating this type of conversation. So congratulations to you. Private capital is patient, but needs certainty. Predictable regulation attracts long-term investment, and inconsistency drives it away. No investor will commit where the rules keep changing. Trust is a currency of investment, and policy stability converts trust into capital. I was in Oslo last week or two, no, before Washington, 1.5 weeks ago, and I was asked, why invest in Africa when the risks are so high? But my answer was simple. There's risk everywhere. But in Africa, the returns are higher. And the impact is deeper. When you create one job in Africa, honestly, it's equal to maybe 100 jobs created elsewhere because of our level of underdevelopment and poverty. Optimism must be matched with structure. We need consistency. We need rule of law and infrastructure that enable businesses to thrive. So to the FCT minister and his colleagues, thanks for the massive infrastructure project you're rolling out here. It has implications, positive implications for business development, for attracting investment. So keep it up and don't relent and do more. Transforming Nigeria and Africa requires capital, but not just any capital. It requires patient, purposeful, and Pan-African capital. The rise of African investment funds, impact investors, and diaspora financing is changing the game positively. We need to deepen our capital markets, embrace fintech innovation, and expand access to credit for small and medium-scale enterprises, because these are the true backbone of our economies, and these are the true creators of employment. Big businesses don't create the kind of jobs that help to change this country. It is small and medium-scale business, and all of us, I like the testimony and what I heard from the documentary. I like the commitment your agency is paying to this critical segment. All of us must deliberately prioritize this segment. We must realize that their success is equal to our success, and that if we don't prioritize the small and medium-scale enterprises, as a continent, as a country, as a territory, we won't go far. So commendable, don't relent, let's do more. If we align capital with vision, Africa will not just grow, it will thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, the time for incremental change has passed. We must now lead a continental movement of enterprise where African businesses are not just consumers of global ideas, but creators of global value. We must be architects of progress. And we must realize as individuals, we cannot succeed if the many do not succeed. So it's all of us must go together. Let us believe in African excellence. Let us invest in African innovation. How can we expect foreign investors to invest in us, in our economies and countries, if we don't invest in our own economies? Make money, but it will be a huge disservice, an act of unpatriotism to save your money in economies that already have so much. Make your money, but please bring it and invest locally. Let us collectively build the Africa we deserve. No one will build it for us. We need to build a prosperous, inclusive, and self-reliant African continent, society, and economy. Building economies, not extracting profits. That must be the new African business ethos, especially for us in the private sector. Building economies, not extracting profits. For sustainability in business and even in social good. you have to make profit and not a loss. But that should not be the overriding objective, overriding goal. It should be a combined objective. Make profit for sustainability, but equally important, play your own role in helping to catalyze other sectors, other areas, so that all of us will live at least at some basic level. And that is what assures peace in societies. In conclusion, distinguished guests, Africa's economic transformation will not be written in boardrooms in New York, London, or Beijing. It will be written here on our continent, here in Nigeria, here in Abuja. And it will be written by African entrepreneurs, by our young ones. To be written by African investors and African leaders standing at the forefront of history, transforming challenge into opportunity and potential into prosperity. I want to remind fellow private sector leaders who have succeeded and who are succeeding that it is now in our collective interests to put resources together with government, with development partners, to help create a better environment, business environment, better environment through investments, so that collectively we can address poverty, because poverty anywhere is a threat to all of us everywhere. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies,